The LQS is short for listing quality score. It's out of 10, and we find items with low quality scores. As in this one up here, has got an LQS score of only 4. So this does it all automatically, calculates all this automatically. You can see the revenue of each product. You can see where it is there. You can see if it's an ad. You can see its BSR, its bestseller rating, its price. Is it in Amazon FBA? How many reviews it's got? All straight away just by clicking one button. So it's just, like all tools, they just don't there to save you time. The listing quality score algorithm is based on, this is not all the stuff that's in the algorithm, but this is just some of the stuff that it takes into account for the algorithm, the main factors, the title length, the number of words in the Amazon product title. Amazon, unlike eBay allows you 80 characters. Back in the old days, it was 55 characters on eBay. Now it's been 80 for 7 or 8 years now, it's around that time. And then with Amazon, they get up to 200, but 80 is the best. So the LQS or eGrow looks at how many characters are in the title. Is it got more than 80 or less than 80? And if it's got more or less, then it's obviously, it marks it as bad. Does it have less than 6 images? The image resolution, 1001 pixels. For those who know eBay well, with eBay you can have a minimum 500 pixels, but eBay recommends that you should have 1600 pixels. Amazon recommends that you should have 1001 pixels. The number of reviews, like we spoke about, the BSR, the bestseller rank, the number of bullet points. You should have at least 5 bullet points on Amazon and 20 bullet points on eBay. The length of the different elements on the page, how long or how short are they? Customer questions, does this item get a lot of questions? And how many FBA sellers are on there? Do many people have it in the Amazon warehouse? And of course, is Amazon selling the item? Because you don't want to go up against Amazon. So 1 out of 10, 10 is the best optimized. So of course, you would leave anything that's got a 10. But anything under a 5 they're the ones that we look at. Look for items with a low LQS. And because it doesn't take long, it's just a matter of scrolling up or down. Is it less than 5? Yes or no? And that's what, when you've got VAs working for you, most things should always be a yes or no question. Now, Amazon Prime members prefer to purchase from FBA sellers. So anyone who's an Amazon Prime member, and if you don't know what Amazon Prime membership is, it's probably best just to Google, but if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get free delivery, you get fast delivery, you also get things like the movie channel, if you've got like an Apple TV or whatever, you got on there movies, shows, you also get over 2 million songs you can listen to. There's a whole load of stuff, reasons to become an Amazon Prime member. And if you are an Amazon Prime member, many Amazon Prime members, when they're buying something, they'll check the box saying that they only want to buy from Amazon FBA. So that, of course, gives you a big opportunity. So Amazon shows the FBA items higher in the search results than if you're not an Amazon FBA member. People who came on, if you've got some questions, please just type them in. Can't promise I'll get through them all. We've got a lot of people on tonight, but I'll get through some of them. Marty's asking, can you set product filters? Yes, good question, Marty, and I'm just about to get to that right now. So if there's no other Amazon FBA sellers for product, happy days, is a good day to be you. Because there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of products out there that there is nothing in Amazon FBA. So there's a lot of opportunities. Now, so of course, to be an Amazon FBA seller, you do need to send the items to an Amazon warehouse. Now, going back to eGrow, we talked about the LQS score, which is what we spent a lot of time looking at. But down, you'll notice on the bottom left, you'll see filters. If you click on filters there, you can see here you can start filtering things at price, your minimum and your max. You can also look at, down the very bottom there, FBA, or does Amazon have it? The minimum LQS score you want, the ratings, all that stuff you can filter so you just get to see exactly what you want to see. And it's pretty simple. And as you guys know, a lot of software these days, it just gets ridiculously complicated. And this is kept more back to the bones, which is what we really like. We really like simple software where you don't have to try and read a massive manual trying to work it all out. It's simple. Okay, so you do your research, you find one with a low LQS score that's got less than 5, like this one. It's got a this one has got an LQS score of 3, and this is the product. And now the next thing is to find the product. How do you find it? And what we've been doing, which we've done forever, is we just use Alibaba.com. Alibaba.com is huge. It's owned by a guy called Jack Ma, who's he was the richest guy in China. He's now been pinged. He's now the second richest guy. Poor guy. He's only got $43 billion. Where he's some new player has he's $63 billion in the net worth in China. So, but Alibaba, huge company. But Alibaba, a lot of people think it's just for sourcing items from China. It's not. You can we import from China, Malaysia, and Vietnam, and we find suppliers in those countries. But you can also find suppliers in any country. Like, if you live in Australia, you can open an account in Australia and you can ship back to China. So whatever country you're in, if you've got some products that the Chinese like and that are made in your country, you can ship back to them. So don't just think Alibaba is only in China, because they are not. And Alibaba is just it's just a search engine, like Amazon's a search engine. Alibaba is a search engine as well to find wholesalers. So in here, I typed in electric milk frother and hit search, and bingo, I can see a gazillion milk frothers here, and I can see the exact same one that's on Amazon. And notice on here, it shows me here that a price, $3.57 to $4.35 a piece. The minimum order, which in this case is 100 pieces. It also shows you things like how long the companies have been around for. Like this one at the top here, it's been around for 10 years. And that's one very, very important thing that I want to know, is how long have they been on the Alibaba platform. I don't care about the gold seller, because you can buy that badge, and any badges that you can purchase are useless. But it shows there what country they're in this case, China, their score, all that stuff is awesome there. Chat now, you can chat with them live, contact them by email or whatever. So it's all on there, and that's Alibaba. And there's a lot of other ones out there. There's DHgate and China Sources. There's all sorts of ones, and just choose one and just use one only and get to know it. We've only ever used Alibaba for over 20 years, and it's been great for us. But because it's the biggest over there as well, if they're not on Alibaba, I'm scared. Like, why are you not on Alibaba? They show you prices and they show you MAQs, but understand everything is negotiable. And I know a lot of us, including myself, weren't brought up to negotiate, but they're never going to ever show you their best prices straight off the bat. But as a rule of thumb, if they're saying 100 pieces minimum order, and they're showing that price of, say, $3.57 to $4.35, we want to aim to get that 100 pieces for $3.57 or a lower MAQ. So all this is very, very negotiable. Everything in life is negotiable, everything. So don't ever take anything at face value. Now, also, a lot of people, especially when they're new, they want to get things inspected. So if you've outlaid a decent amount of money, get it inspected. Alibaba has registered certified inspectors all over the countries, all over China, all over Vietnam, all over Malaysia. And we use what we call the 1 in 10. The 1 in 10 is they'll go out there and they'll inspect. They'll randomly take if you've got, say, 100 products, 100 pieces, they'll randomly take 10. And if they find any products that are faulty out of those 10, we'll then ask them to inspect every single one of those items. And we'll ask the supplier to foot the bill for it. So the 1 in 10 is just to inspect 1 in every 10. It's not that expensive. Often it can, for 100 pieces, it should cost you less than $100. And you need to get an inspector who's close to the area. So a lot of people say to me, can you recommend an inspector? And no, because the place is huge. So like Australia, if you had one supplier in, say Perth, and who's in your, this is not saying it's not, you've got an electrical item, so you use an electrical inspector in Perth. But then you've got another supplier in Brisbane, you're not going to fly that inspector up. You're just going to get another one in Brisbane. It's the same with China. If you've got someone in Ningbo and then another in Shanghai, you'll just find someone who's local. So you don't have one inspector, you find an inspector who's local to each supplier. Okay, so MAQ, we talked about the MAQ, or the minimum order quantity. Another question that comes up a lot is how much cash is required realistically to make $1,000 profit per week? Okay, so if you make an average profit margin after all costs, okay, you know, all expenses, Amazon expenses, importing expenses, every single expense. Let's say you have a margin of 30%. Yes, I know we hear margins of, you know, all sorts of ridiculous amounts, but let's be realistic and just say 30% after all costs. So you need to sell $3,000 per week, and which is around $13K per month, to make $1,000 profit per week. Now, to do that, you need to outlay $20,000 to $40,000 in inventory. Why? And that includes 30% deposits, the inventory which is in travel, and the inventory in FBA. Because you can't just import one lot and, you know, sell it if you want to keep $1,000 profit coming in. You've got to always keep. For us, when we do our ordering, we order 90 days worth of inventory minus whatever's left in our warehouse, or if it's Amazon FBA, what's left in the Amazon FBA warehouse. So we always want to keep 90 days. Every month we reorder every month, and we order 90 days worth based on its previous sales minus how much is left in the warehouse. So plus you need cash for PPC advertising, pay-per-click advertising. Now, if you don't want to outlay that much money, it's not the end of the world. There's still other avenues you can do. So if you don't have the cash flow, or you're not willing to outlay the cash flow funds to fund your own FBA inventory, then for now, or you might want to do it later or whatever, you can always consider using what we call virtual inventory, or in the industry is dropshipping, which I'm not going to go into tonight, but if you want to know more about dropshipping, again, there's another link there if you want to know more about it. Because with dropshipping, you use virtual inventory, so you don't use your own, so you don't have to spend any money buying inventory. Okay, so let's move on to tips to ranking well on Amazon. Just like eBay and websites, optimization is the foremost process to rank your products. It's the same whether it's Amazon, whether it's a website, or whether it's eBay. It's exactly the same thing. Optimization is what it's all about. Don't guess. And, you know, as I've spoken many times before, over 90% of sellers just use what we call best guess marketing strategies. They just guess it all. Don't guess. Okay, we use VAs. They're not allowed to guess. Everything has to be set criteria. You don't have to guess. You know, today we've got the technology. You don't have to be a pioneer anymore. It's trying to figure stuff out. You know, it's. I was just talking to a guy the other day about this, and being a pioneer, it's hard work. You know, trying to figure this stuff out all the time. It's tough. Anyway, so for those who don't know much about Amazon, Amazon is all about the buy box. And the buy box is here. It's at the top. So basically, if you're selling this camera, whoever owns the buy box up here, this is basically the item that, and the seller, Amazon is recommending. If you've got the buy box, you're going to get the majority of the sales. Then below here, going down, are all the other sellers. So this is the seller that Amazon is found to be the best. Now, and it works like eBay Best Match. So it looks at things like price. Where is the buyer located? Where is the seller located? Is the seller located? Because of course, if the buyer's in, say, Sydney, Australia, and the seller's in Italy, of course, they're not going to appear near the top of the search results. If there's another seller in Sydney, of course, they're going to appear much higher if everything else is equal. So it's going to look at all those things to work out which seller shall it put at the buy box. And this is one of the reasons that we talk about private labeling, because if you private label something, you don't have to compete with any other sellers because it's your private label. So, but if you're not private labeling, then the buy box is here. That's why we don't want to go for something that has a lot of reviews. All right, moving on. So image optimization. Image optimization is extremely important, no matter what platform you're selling on, whether it's Amazon or whatever. You want 6 images on Amazon. Show the product being used. If the item is an electrical item and it's got something like, say, an LCD display, for God's sake, turn it on. Show the thing being used. If you're doing Amazon FBA, you can get the items sent, one to yourself to be photographed, and the rest can go to Amazon FBA. Have a picture of the product packaging. So if it's in a box, show a picture of the item in a box. Include photos that show the size of the products. For some items, if the item can be emphasized that it's bigger by showing it next to something smaller, do it. Show the product from multiple angles. power it up, as I mentioned. And with the images, at least 1001 pixels, always color photos. Amazon likes to see a white background. So this is a question that comes up a lot because on an eBay, a lot of people put a lot of graffiti on their pictures. They'll put infographics, etc. You can't do that with Amazon. It's pure white background. You want it to cover, just like every other platform, a minimum of 85% of the image area. So you don't want it, like that, then you've got a little picture in the middle. You want it to try to touch two of the sides. You can use free software like GIMP and Canva to edit the images. Again, there's links here to a free video showing how to use Canva and another one to how to use GIMP. These are all free. All right. Now that long URL at the top is, if you type that, if you go to Fiverr, into that URL, just move that so you can see it, that will take you to a whole load of product photo editors who can come up with a really brilliant Amazon photo for you. And it won't cost you much money, like $5 or less. Okay, the product title, obviously very, very important because the product title has to match what people search for on Amazon. So if someone is searching for an electric milk froth, for example, you need to have the right keywords and the variations of that keyword around. So with your title, you want to keep it again around 80 characters. I know you can go over 200, but you want to keep it around 80. If you go too many, it confuses the search engine. The search engine doesn't know what on earth you're selling. We want to put in there things like the brand, model number, model name, and a product type and color. Now, to find keywords is a question that comes up a lot. There's several ways of doing it. You can use the Amazon auto suggestion box, and all that is the Amazon search box. You type it in and it automatically suggests, as I'll show you. Or you can use a tool. Both would give you similar results. So we use a tool called keywordtool.io/Amazon. But you can also just use the auto suggestion. So here on Amazon, I type in binocular. And below, it'll show you the auto suggestion, showing you all, oops, let's go back, showing you all the other keyword phrases for it. And if you put in binoculars for adults, it will show you more keyword phrases. So you don't have to buy software. You can do it a lot there. And the other platforms have got it as well. Google's got it. eBay's got it. All these auto suggestion tools. They're already there, and then, of course, they're free to use. Keyword.io does the same thing, but it gives you a lot more, and it also gives you more data. Next is, with Amazon is so review driven, the item that's got the most reviews goes generally up higher. So it's always great to be working on reviews. Now, don't do any of that kind of black hat stuff because you'll get shut down by Amazon. It's got to be all legitimate. The last thing you want to do is get someone in Bangladesh slapping up reviews for you. You're going to get nailed. Amazon is very, very smart. They know what they're doing. They'll find you and they'll show it. We've seen many, many listings that have just lost instantly thousands of feedback overnight because Amazon's figured out that they're all fake. Don't get involved with it. I didn't mention that. So we use a company called Feedback Express, but there's also another popular one called Ecom Engine. There's probably a lot more about there as well, but that's the ones. Feedback Express is what we use. When you're listing an item on Amazon, fill out all the relevant categories when listing any new items. There's all different categories. Just make sure every single one of them is complete. We see that a lot where people just don't fill the stuff out, and then because of that, their competitors go higher. Always try to do your best to avoid duplicate content. Don't copy and paste. Always improve what's there. If everyone's just copying and pasting the same thing, it's not. Google hates it. Amazon hates it. Don't do it. Just take what's there and improve it. There's always a way to improve it. It might be written in bad English, which a lot of stuff is. Not the best speller, and I'm not. Consider using a program like Grammarly or whatever to check your spelling. All right, summary of optimization. You want an 80-character headline for your product. 5 bullet points to describe the features of your product. A paragraph of sales copy to go in the description section. 6 photos of the product on a pure white background. The weight and the dimensions of the item. Keywords. A SKU code, which you can make up. It can be anything. and a barcode. Now, every item on Amazon has to have a barcode, preferably what they call a GS1 barcode. You can get barcodes. The cheapest one at the moment is actually on eBay. You can get 1,000 barcodes on there very cheaply for I think they're like 20 something cents a barcode. But if you're going to have your own product, like you're going to private label, whatever, highly recommend just go and spend the money and buy yourself a GS1 barcode for that item. You only got to buy the one barcode, which is for that particular item, and then you can sell it hundreds or thousands of times with exactly the same barcode. Okay, like I mentioned, I think it was John before, if you want how to send inventory Amazon warehouse, I've got a whole video. It shows you step by step, walks you through it, exactly how to, it's all free, of course, send stuff to Amazon. So there's a few people asking about that one. It's all about finding one product only. Learn the steps. All right, so as I said tonight, it's all about one product, and it's all literally baby steps. It's just taking one little tiny step at a time. And for the perfectionists out there who take a long time, and I can be very much guilty of this, done is better than perfect. You know, don't try to always get everything perfect before you get started. Just version 1 is better than version 9. As soon as you get that version 1 knocked over, you can improve it and get onto version 2. And that's what we did. You know, when we look back at some of our ad copy back in the early days, it was just rubbish, and the photos were terrible. And you know, just get version 1 done, and then you can launch into getting version 2. So thank you. The slides will be available for 24 hours tonight. You can download them. There's a link, and you guys have been great. You guys have a great night, and I hope you got something out of it tonight. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. Cheers.